Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Black Sensei Society. We are back at it again. Myself and Ty Davis, fellow co-host of the Black Sensei Society podcast, and we're about to talk about One Piece, the new chapter 1160. It's usually me and Miles, but Ty is coming subbing in. Of course, he's welcome to join any week he wants to, for sure. But before we get into it, how do you feel about the chapter?
I thought it was great. It was a great chapter. Um, all the it, Oda did something I really like when the stories do is that they have like singular events connect characters. So you have like a major event in the past in history that connects tons of people. Like whether it be like the Nine-Tailed Fox attack connecting like Iruka, all the most of the major characters, whether it be um obviously God Valley, Roger's announcement, just making major events to your story connects a bunch of people. It makes the world feel alive. And Oda did with all these heavy hitters. So many characters we were curious about are all in one spot. That's crazy.
It is, man. This God Valley little backstory is not something I expected in this arc. At the very least, I didn't expect this in this backstory. This was a Herald backstory. This was a backstory about Harold, Loki, and the Giants, and then God Valley. I respected that. I'm here. I'm locked. This is cool. I guess to start off, we got the cover page. Me and Miles did talk about how I do think it's intentional that Oda is focusing so much on Yamato.
Yeah.
Like this cover page, cover story has been going on for a very long time. Miles said that he thinks that Yamato is gonna have her own crew, and I co-sign that. That she's probably gonna do her own thing, so to speak, and that she's probably not gonna join the Straw Hats as we thought. What do you think about that? This cover story?
I haven't really been paying too much attention to it, but I think Yamato and Momonosuke are obviously gonna be like big in the end game. Like they're like everyone that kind of the straw hats helped or become honorary straw hats, but I feel like there's like tiers to it. Like VV, Yamato, Momonosuke, those are like top tier honorary straw hats. So I think they definitely get down this final arc. Like that's just that's just what it is. So I expect her to do something crazy. Her and Momonosuke.
Yeah, I agree. She's definitely an honorary Straw Hat. She's super important. To kind of get right into the chapter, we got a bunch of Celestials going crazy in terms of like looking at everybody and looking at the Davy clan, calling them the most hated of people. It seems like they have a very bad history, so we could probably get into that. And we get a good look at Blackbeard's mom, is what it looks like. Let me
Yeah,
show that real quick. I'm surprised we got her face and we didn't get Shanks and Shamrock's mom's face, which is interesting.
yeah.
But I'm covering it, but I'm trying to finagle it. New streaming service, and this thing is just not working with me. But Ty sees what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I
You
understand.
see her face.
I gotta put up on my iPad.
Um, and then the Celestials are basically going crazy, and on the side of it, we also see the Fergaland with one of the elders, as well as Dragon with Shanks and Shamrock's mom, which we never see her face. So, what do we think about this? The Celestials going crazy right now from the Davy clan.
Oda, there are certain things in One Piece that are like very disturbing, and this is one of them. Like the Celestials they look like monsters, which I mean we already knew they were, but they look like genuine monsters. Like like that one panel where you see a bunch of all of them as silhouettes, and he shows them with like super sharp teeth. Like Oda's trying to show that these people are beast essentially uh like very inhumane. Like I think that's a good thing to do because these people, I mean, that's what they are.
I agree. I think this chapter, I said this when I talked about it on TikTok. I said this chapter more so than any incident we've seen because we've seen the Celestial Dragons be terrible people. Like for example, on Sabayoti, we've seen them do terrible people, which is
Hmm.
why Luffy got involved and punched him in the face. I think this is probably the worst we've seen from the Celestial Dragons because we actually see the hunt. We see how, like you said, the silhouettes depicting them as just monsters.
Yeah,
I think this is probably like the best depiction on how evil all these people are, as well as the God Knights. Like they're pure evil as well. What do you think about that? Do you think this is biggest, best depiction of how bad these people are?
Yeah, because I think that sometimes having things up close and personal makes things seem scarier. So, like for example, when Emu destroys an island, you can't really see how gruesome it is and like the ending moment. That's why the rumbling was shocked people so as much as it did, because you actually are seeing people get stomped. You're seeing people scream for their lives, right? So that's why like can some characters can feel more redeemable than others. So like for example, if Vegeta blows up a planet, usually they're like alien looking things that people can't connect with and you don't really
Yeah.
know them, and it's from far away, we see them blow up and that's it. We don't really dive deep into it. But if you see someone torturing somebody, one person, that can make them more irredeemable than somebody blow up an entire planet, depending on the presentation of it. And this presentation is definitely like, oh yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy presentation.
It really is, and I'm glad you brought that up because like something a scene like this is like the scene the celestial dragons get super giddy and just shoot and kill a family with a baby in hand is insane work. It's insane work. The celestial dragons have no remorse and they see these people as lesser than. This next chapter also featured the fact that Dragon also decided, yeah, I'm gonna go do what I gotta do. I'm gonna go help and save Shamrock and Shanks or wherever they are. Do you think it's intentional for us to not see Shanks and Shamrock's mom's face?
um I'm not sure because like I think we also didn't see Ace's mom's face. Like she was like a silhouette back in Marine Ford. So I don't know. But I do think it being put in contrast with Blackbeard's, like why would he show one and not the other? It could be because he wants us to empathize more with Blackbeard. Like that's because we already care about Shanks, right? We already care about him as a character. We already he's on the good side, obviously. But he could want us to empathize more with Blackbeard. So seeing the mother's face is more important for that angle because we don't really need to empathize with Shanks. So
I think that's a very good point, especially considering this is such a huge moment for Blackbeard, and we're probably going to get a final interaction between Blackbeard's mother and Rox. I'm pretty comfortable saying that she's probably going to die in this situation, but how will that lead to Blackbeard and then obviously Whitebeard? I'm very curious to see how that played out. The chapter continues, obviously, with the Celestials doing some terrible things, and they point out two families in particular, the Fergaland family, being obviously Garland, Shank Shamrock's family, and the Man Mayer family. Did we ever get a name drop for this family before, or is this the first time we're hearing them? I don't remember.
um knowing One Piece probably, but not to my memory. This is why I do need a big One Piece reread because there's just so much information. I wouldn't be surprised if they mentioned that this time before. I wouldn't be shocked, but I just don't remember because so much. It's this story is big, bro. It's a big story.
It is like
There's so much.
it's
It's so
just
much stuff in this story, bro.
I that's why I respect Miles for rereading it like two or three times. Like shout out to you. I cannot do that. I don't have the time for that. But it
I'm gonna try to reread it when it's once it's finished. I will do a reread.
yeah, I probably will try to do that as well. Um, then we also, in connection to the May and Maymar family, however you say it, we get a official title of Gunko being related to this family, and her also being called the Blade of the King or something like that. What was it? It was like the devoted blade of God. So we get Gunko, we get her last name, and we get a title for her as well. Before we kind of discuss that, do we think this is the same Gunko as the current Gunko in our present timeline?
Yes, because I think that because I mean the fact that Emu is 800 years old, we know that your lifespan is you don't something with Emu ability can make you last longer than usual. Like they actually talked about that. Also, I think that family is related to Brooke's family because we see some of the people that are saying that are laughing like Brooke. I think those are the Maymere family, right? And I think that if Brooke I think if they're laughing like Brooke, that means that Gonko is a part of that group, and then that means that Brooke might be from that family too. Maybe he might be one of the people that protected the family or worked for the family. So that could be that, or they're from the same area, or maybe from the same country or whatever.
I noticed that too. I said that in my like TikTok conversation about it, and I saw it, and I was thinking this looks like Brooks' laugh. And knowing Oda, everything he does is intentional. And laughs are a very important signature of characters.
Yeah.
So we know Gunko and Brook have a history. And then we have Carrot Celestials that are using Brook's laugh. And I think I'm trying to remember their design. I'm gonna look at it real quick. They also got like, from my memory, a fro. And let me pull this up. I'm trying to remember if I saw a fro or not. Um, or did I, or am I just imagining that? No, I'm kind of just imagining. I wouldn't call any of that a fro. It's not at all. But it is a very interesting thing to note. Um, what do we think it means for Gunko not only to be kind of be held in this high regard where individual accomplishments for this hunt, she's like on the top above Garland even, and she's called the devoted blade of God. And as we know from the present timeline, Emu can possess her body as well.
Yeah.
So what do we think that means? What do you think that means?
I think that she's trapped. Cause no, because remember she saw Brooke, she heard the Brooke, and then she like had a flashback. So we know that she's being controlled. Like even before Emu takes over her body, she's in a state of like some sort of paralysis where she can't. She's being forced to work for them. So she's definitely trapped. And consider how old Brooke is. She's probably hundreds of years old. Like that's probably the case.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Miles made the theory that Gunko is related to Emu and is
Mm,
also part of, and Emu is part of the Mayor family as well. What do you think about that?
maybe,
I think it
maybe.
would make a lot of sense considering all the similarities. I think we kind of have enough information to also say that Emu is a woman, and it would make sense that Emu could possess another female, and this being the devoted blade. And being the devoted blade must mean that you have this special type of like relationship where, like you said, she's trapped. Um, but more than likely, it seems like it wasn't by choice. So I'm curious about that as well. Moving on to the chapter, we see the Cecils doing some terrible stuff, and we saw something very interesting when Dragon was seeing these people suffering. And I think this was a very important scene where he says that if he got involved, his entire platoon will be beheaded.
Yeah,
And the reason why I think that's very important is because I think that sheds a light on like why some Marines do not fight back against the Celestials,
yeah.
because they know that all the people they care about will also die. And I wonder, I'm curious your thoughts on that. And I wonder if that also applies to Garp and his understanding of the current structure.
I that's what and you know what's so crazy about that is that and this is one of those things where I feel like people kind of ignore the nuance of what Oda's doing with the Marines. So people think if you're a Marine, you're inherently bad and you're evil, yada yada. They're not taking into account. First of all, in real life, that's not how it works. Like if
Yeah.
like I work for the government, am I evil? Or I don't think that anyone that joins the military, U.S. military, even though the U.S. military is responsible for many atrocities, I'm not gonna say that you're an evil person, but then
Mm-hmm.
also on top of that, if you try to resist, we will murder you, and like that's crazy. Like that is it, that's actually saying up. And then on top of that, just some people have just a lack of knowledge. Like some people are not aware of. I don't think every single Marine is aware of everything. I don't think that.
Mm-hmm.
But then also from Gar's perspective, I do think if we get a twist that like Luffy and certain characters would get murked if he resisted, that would low key be crazy.
You
That'd be
know,
crazy.
that's an interesting point you just brought up. It might be able to answer the question on why they haven't tried harder to take out Luffy this entire time. Like they tried, but there's always the question on like him and his devil fruit, and people are trying
Yeah.
to make that claim that why didn't they, if they knew he had the gum fruit, why didn't they try harder? It Garp being the reason could be a very strong explanation.
And you know what else is crazy? Because remember they actually so I wonder if one of the things that happened is if what if the part of the deal is if Luffy does XYZ, then we are allowed to execute him. right? Because they could have killed him at Marineford multiple times, they didn't. And then also, Garp. Let's say that because now Marineford has more context now. Garp, either I let one grandson die or I both of them die. That's also a that more than would actually be fire because like dang if I help Ace, Luffy dies too. They both die. So I had to let my grandson get killed. Like I'm saying, one of my essentially my adopted grandson die. That to me would like that would I think that would completely reframe Marineford. I think.
And another thing to attach onto this is that also knowing that your son is out there doing his own journey. Obviously, the world government, military control everything. Your son is the most wanted man in the world
Yeah.
and a former Marine. So, in all intents and purposes, I do think you could probably make the claim that Garp was somewhat trapped because he was paying for the death of his son as well. Because he is a revolutionary. No, he is the revolutionary. And as we see in this chapter coming up, or in the next page coming up, Dragon kills a celestial dragon.
Did he kill him or did he just hit with a tranquilizer? I wasn't sure.
Oh, he might have just hit him. You might be right. He might have just hit him with the tranquilizer because in this scene right here, you see like a snooze bubble right here. So I forgot because he does have tranks. I do think he just
You probably,
tranquilized him.
but then he saved them. So we because now here's the thing, right? I don't think this will make him the most wanted man in the world. Do you think that? I think it might be something more that he did. I mean, well, he's leading the revolutionary, so I mean that could be the case.
I
But
do, yeah, and I think it probably also has to. I do think Dragon is eventually going to confront Garland as well. Like that has to happen because he's saving Shanks and Shamrock. And I'm also fully in the camp that Dragon is going to take the most valuable fruit on this island. So, abandoning the Marines, attacking the Celestial Dragon, defying a God Knight, and they're probably going to make the claim that he's kidnapping a Celestial Dragon as well with Shanks.
oh yeah, he is kidnapping Celestials.
And then he's going to be probably taking a Buccaneer with Kuma and then all those other slaves too.
Also, handing over Celestial to Roger.
Yes.
So that's a whole nother issue. I also think that people are kind of underestimating Roger a lot. One, because people saying, "Oh, he's goofy." One, he's freaking he's Luffy. He's Luffy 1.0. Like he's before Luffy. Luffy's Roger 2.0. So, but also, I think this event is the reason why Roger wants to be Pirate King. I think this whole God Valley incident because this is like a crossroads of fate, and then it's interesting because we've seen this crossroads of fate being referenced multiple times in One Piece. So, for example, when Ace and Blackbeard fought, one of Blackbeard's men said this is a crossroads of fate. We know fate plays a big part of One Piece. Even when they found Blackbeard, um, uh, uh, Saint Saturn says I'm glad it's kind of crazy you found them, and then Garland responds that it was simply an act of fate, right?
Yes.
When they blew up that island and said it was just fate. So I think this is like this whole thing changed the fate of everyone's destiny, and I think that Roger post this incident because remember this incident this whole flashback he's not talked about finding the One Piece. He has not talked about we haven't really seen Roger's like crazy motivation outside him wanting to get married, right? He wants to settle down. But I think that something happens. It's like, dang, I need to find the One Piece to stop all of this. Because remember, if he knows what the One Piece is, or at least what it can do, he wants to find it so that because he has the same dream as Luffy too, but he gets there too early. Like, dang, I got here too early, so I can't do this what I wanted to do. I'll leave it to the next generation that finds it. So I think this whole thing is really going to make him want to be Pirate King. So
Um, I agree. I think the instigating event here not only is it going to inspire Roger, I think it's very clear it's going to inspire Dragon,
yeah,
and it probably is going to inspire Garp in a different way. And maybe his inspiration for Sword is also going to be created here as well, on like a different way to fight it back against this current world government. So yeah, I'm very curious to see how it plays out. Speaking of rocks, the next panel we got a huge double spread of the rocks pirates over here. I wonder how this differs from the initial like introduction, not the introduction of the Rocks Pirates, but the
I know
silhouettes
yeah,
of
he's
the
got that.
Rocks Pirates. I'm
He's
very
got
curious
like that
to see that.
chapter, that chapter. It's like there was like that chapter that showed them like it was like egghead art, I think.
Yeah, yeah, that one. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm.
saw someone put it side by side, and the perspective is a little bit different. Obviously, they don't show rocks, obviously, but uh, they're mostly the same. Except Whitebeard wasn't smiling; he was like standing up straight. Uh, there's a few. Some it was like it's pretty much it's close, but it's some subtle differences though.
So with that said, they are now officially here. They're ready to get in the fight. Some people are simping over Shocky. Rock said that, all right, we got to work together, gang. We don't, but we gotta do what we gotta do. Get treasure, take out people, do what we do our mission. Obviously, none of them know that Rox is here to save his son and his wife. We also got it is kind of one thing that the only line I did not like out of all these characters is Whitebeard's line about Shocky. Like, bro, not Whitebeard, man, not him being a simp too. It's tough.
Listen, he
Um,
said he wants a family. He meant in every way.
you got a girl right there. She wants you so bad, man. She wants you
Listen, man.
so bad. We also got Gloriosa here talking about saving Shocky. Maybe Roger would care. That's delusion right there. That's delusion. We got Big Mom's guy as well here. He's the only one not stepping over Shocky. Well, because he has Big Mom. Big Mom here, obviously doing what she got to do. And Kaido saying, asking Big Mom if she's going to give him a devil fruit,
Yeah.
which is a very interesting little dynamic between. It seems like maybe he only is asking her because she's familiar with devil fruits. I don't know. Should I? Do you think we should look more into this relationship between Kaido and Big Mom?
Um, I think that this relationship gives us context why they're willing to work together in the present, like during Wano, like their alliance. I think them kind of working together in a way gives us context to why they were together during like Wano, and they may form their alliance, like at least why they're willing to. I think it just gives us context.
Yeah. Um, I'm curious. A lot of people, I don't have they ever. I've heard rumors or speculation. Are you in the camp that Katakuri is the kid of Big Mom and Kaido?
That's insane. I've never heard that before. What the
You have heard? Yeah,
no, I
that's
mean,
a theory.
first of all, that is a they did reference that she had a lot of kids in this flashback, and I was like, that's actually crazy. Big Mom just be throwing it around, like actually.
I'm surprised she didn't give it to Rocks. Imagine a little Davy clan, Big Mom kid.
Low key, they would that kid would have been OP. Low key.
Nah, for sure.
Did she have a kid with Kaido? No, bro. But that would be crazy.
That would be hilarious. All right, so Rocks and the pirates are causing chaos, and Dragon is taking advantage of this opportunity to finally find and save Shanks and Shamrock. And he notes here that also the Roger pirates show up, and we'll talk about them in a second. But he also notices that he says this interesting quote: "Are you boys staying quiet? It's a miracle." Like they are unfazed on what is going on right there, going on right now. Is this because they're just ore farmers and that's just who they are?
They're conquerors.
You could say that as well. Shanks starting ore farming as a baby is interesting. I'm not gonna lie. Shout out that
Or
boy.
perhaps it's fate.
They did say it's a miracle. They did say it's a miracle. We also got the reveal of two other groups. Like I said before, we got the reveal of Rogers group and the God Knight. So we'll start off with the Rogers group. Rogers group is here, and Rayleigh is gonna go specifically to go find Shocky, while everybody else is going to be focused on the treasure, is what they're saying, causing chaos. How do we feel about the Roger Pirates here being here?
Um, I I'm really interested to see. Because again, I think that Sengoku was not accurate. Well, he's obviously not accurate with the his first description of God Valley. So I'm interested to see what does that showdown between him, Garp, and Roger actually look like. Roger, and Garp. What is that? What is that? What was the actual context? So I'm glad that Roger got left behind because now this leads potentially to him running to Garp and Rocks by himself. And I wonder what actually happened.
Yeah, I'm curious as well how the dynamic is going to play out. And we also specifically see Rayleigh going off to save Shocky. Now, we talked about the instigating event or inciting event for a lot of these characters. Is this where he becomes the Dark King?
Yeah, probably. I think that this sets up everybody.
What is Gabon known as? The Mountain Eater? Something like that?
I don't remember the name, but they all because the thing about this event really, I feel like put everybody on the map. Like truly, like it's I, this honestly a lot of these guys get the aura from this incident. They get crazy aura.
Nah, for real. Like, this is probably one of the most, like, iconic game changing events I've seen in manga in a very, very
Yeah,
long time, where it just really just makes names out of so many people. Um, so we got the Rocks Pirates, and then we also get the God Knights. So here we got Garland leading the group, and we got obviously Summers. We got this lady with the kind of giant horns that people like Kaido have. We got whatever this monster is. We got this dude with a Grim Reaper sickle. I don't know what that's all about. And we're assuming that this guy is from the same clan as Gunko because he said he was, I think. So he's probably a mainer. And then obviously we got this lady. She looks familiar. I don't know how to characterize her, but these are our God Knights. What are we thinking?
they got drip. The drip is crazy.
They do.
That's all I
Not
got to
gonna
say.
lie.
They drip is insane.
Does any one of them stand out to you?
And Garland, that nigga,
Well,
that nigga look fire, bro.
other than Mr. Garland himself, the leader.
Probably the girl right next to him, on the left side. She in the front. She probably because I don't think we've seen much of her, so I'm interested to see more about her.
What do you think that monster is in the back? Or do you
Yeah.
think that's just like a representation of the Dream Dude? Because that monster looks wild.
I have no idea. I
Yeah,
have no idea.
these guys, man, the God Knights, the Roger Pirates, the Rocks Group are all here. But then there's one more other group that showed up because they want to get in with the action as well. We got the Marines. Vice Admiral Garp is also here. So this this battle is about to be crazy.
I'm about to say, doesn't Garp get his name, the hero of the Marines, from this event, right? Am I tripping?
Yeah,
Doesn't Garp not really like the title?
yeah, he doesn't like it at all.
Which this goes to the other point. Garp is not. People make jokes about how he just protect Celestials, kill people. But if he doesn't like the title for protect Celestials, that means it's obviously more context, right? Like there has to be more context. He doesn't like the name just cause. There has to be a reason why. Because one, he knows the truth of the event, and two, the event is not what they say it is, so he doesn't like the title. You know what I'm saying? That to me is the explanation. So I'm interested to see.
Yeah, I feel like the only thing that makes sense in terms of like why Roger and Garp would team up is obviously Rocks would have to kind of go insane, and the thing that makes the most sense for him to go insane is that they kill his family, or he thinks they killed his family because Blackbeard obviously survives. So they definitely kill his wife, and he just wants to destroy everybody, take
Mhm.
everybody out, everybody on the island, and destroy it all, causing Roger and Garp having to kind of team up to take him out. what do you think is how do you think this entire situation is going to play out? Do we think that's going to be it? Do we think can you think of another idea of how this all is going to play? Because we know that Garp is going to be here. Obviously, we knew Roger and Rox is going to be here. But now that God Knights are here and they're serious players, we were never told on how what they were doing while this all happened.
Can I tell you what I think's gonna happen?
What's up?
I think that this is a crazy prediction. I think that Rox, Roger, and Garp are all gonna work together. Now, hear me out. I know this sounds crazy. I We already know that Garp is not against working with Power because in the original telling of the story, he worked with Roger.
Mm-hmm.
I think that because Garp, they had to spin the narrative of what happened at the event. They had to paint a picture. Okay, well, Roger actually worked with Garp, and then they took down Rocks. That's what they told us. But what if he helps? They all work together in this event to save people. Rocks ends up dying. Roger gets away, and Garp could be potentially frustrated with his position, but is forced to stay because of what Dragon did. So now Dragon's left realize like, dang, I can't leave. I have to stay because it could be I'm held hostage or whatever case may be. Because I think he still believe in what his idea of this Marines could be. But an extra layer to it is even if they did this atrocity, and I had a problem with it, I can't do much because now Dragons at stake, and maybe he values Dragon more. So let's this crazy prediction. If I'm gonna say that Roger, Rox, and Garp are all gonna work together. That's a crazy prediction though.
Mm, very interesting.
Hey, if that happens, we gotta clear this and post it again. We have to. We got to.
No, you got it. You got
You
it. You
got
definitely
that,
got it.
that'd be crazy. I feel like they all work together, man.
To wrap up this video, what is the conflict and interaction you probably want to see most? The one that probably stands out to me that I want to see is I am very curious to see what happens when Garp confronts a God Knight. I
You
am
said
very
when
curious to see
rocks?
that a Garp.
Oh, Garp.
How will that dynamic play out? Will there be respect there? Will the Celestial try to sun him? Will he respect the God Knight? I am very curious to see Garp's interaction in particular when he meets a God Knight. That's probably the one that I'm keeping my eye on. What about you?
Um, my biggest thing is that prediction I made. I want to see when Roger, Garp, and Rocks had to look across each other. I want to see what that looks like. That's what I'm most excited about because that's really that was really the biggest I think the biggest draw of the God Valley incident. Like obviously all the biggest players are there, but I think what really drew people to God Valley was like, wait, Roger and Garp fought Rocks. That was the big. I thought that was the biggest. Like what? Why? What happened? So that's what I want to see most.
Yeah, and when I think about it, after seeing like all of them grow, I don't. Rox is strong. Don't get me wrong. I don't feel like he's strong enough where they both need to team up to take him out. I think they've set this up where it's like Roger and Rox are probably on par. So yeah, it's definitely something more than what we've seen here. But I'm curious. Maybe it is them teaming up. We'll see. But that's all we got for today's One Piece review. Like I said, we're working out the kinks with the new software. It's not perfect compared to the other one, but we'll see how everything plays out for the next month or two, and we'll see if we stick with it. But make sure you guys like, make sure you guys subscribe, check out all our content, check out our podcast that we stream every Tuesday, 9 p.m. EST. Yeah, with that said, you have a good one. Take care and peace.